we are taking this opportunity to celebrate a faculty member who passed away in the fall semester, late fall semester. And I always called Dr. Hamida Qavi a friend of the Scholars Academy. And when I say that, she was a friend to every student that she had in class. And she was quite accomplished. So we wanted to do something a little special. We could not do it earlier than this. And we have asked the family to come and speak to us. And they have been so gracious to say yes. So, Mr. Fahim Qavi, if you'll come up and represent the family.
So, I think actually a slight change of plans. Before I get started, the grandkids wanted to say a few words. So what I'd like to do is, there's out of four, three of them want to speak. So what I'd like to do is to introduce the grandkids and give them just a few seconds to speak, and then So Fahad, this is Fahad Qavi. He's the oldest grandson. He's actually a UHD student himself, almost ready to graduate. So I'd just like him to say a few words and continue.
Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Fahad Qavi, for those of you who don't know. It's always nice to look around the room and see familiar faces and new faces as well. And it's very, you can't even put it into words, it's very honorable that my grandmother interacted with all of these faces and all of these people. And she really was not just a pioneer of education, but a pioneer of opportunity. And I know opportunity is something that UHD is very, very big on. I just want to start by thanking Scholars Academy for this beautiful moment to honor our late grandmother. I promise I'll be very short. I just want to start off with a story. Dr. Qavi's students are, all over the school, right? She taught a whole bunch of people, including me. I took a semester with her for organic lab, and it was in the evening time, right? So after every lab, I would drive my grandmother back home. And so I tried to keep it under wraps for as best as I could, just because I didn't want anybody thinking, oh, Dr. Qavi's grandson is here, favoritism. She wouldn't do that. She worked me even harder, but I just didn't want anybody to, So one particular evening, it was after the lab, I remember, and she was speaking to a few students who wanted to talk to her afterwards about some problem with their work. And I was towards the back of the room, because again, I didn't want anybody like, oh, who is this guy? He looks just like her. So I was in the back of the room, just waiting for her to finish. And again, I just wanted to keep everything very under wraps, very down low. Didn't want to make, myself known. And then I think 2 minutes later, I hear her booming voice, and it snaps me back to attention. She says, "Oh, Fahad, by the way, you're driving me home today, right?" And I just fell apart. And the collective, everybody's heads just turned towards me, and they were like they didn't want to say anything, but I was like, oh my God, this is not happening right now. But that was my grandmother, and she extremely precious, not to just us, but to everybody she ever taught. And to this day, I still have students come up to me telling me that Dr. Qavi wrote my recommendation letter. She means so, so much to me and to my career and to my future. And I think a beautiful way to honor her memory and to honor her sacrifices is to, again, give a scholarship under her name. That way, her name at least continues to benefit the students just as she did while she was alive. So again, I thank you all for this moment, and I would like to take this opportunity to call up my sibling for some other words. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. So my name is Zaid Qavi. I was Dr. Hamida, or Dr. Qavi's third grandson. And I just wanted to come up here to tell you all like the impact that she had on my education and on the way I work and my discipline and things like that. So I'm in high school and I'm in 10th grade. So when I told her at the beginning of the school year that I was gonna take chemistry this year, she, like no smiles, like no laughter, she pulls me in and she says, Zaid, if you somehow fail chemistry this year, I'm going to kill you. So yeah, that had quite the impact on me.
And that's going to continue, John.
Yeah, I wanted to guilt trip my chemistry teacher into helping me pass by telling him that. So yeah, but it's not just that. She's like motivated me. She's spoken so many words of kindness to me that have helped me, get to where I am today, get to the place I am today. And I think this is like ultimately the perfect way to honor her memory, not just by giving her a scholarship, but just by having all of her students here to honor her life. Thank you all for coming. I'd like to call out my sister now to say a few words as well. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. I'm Adina Qavi. I'm 12. I'm in 6th grade. I'm proud to be here. Dr. Qavi was more than just my grandmother. She was my best friend. She would always help me on my studies and motivate me to do better in my grades because I was a little down in my grades back then. So every day when I would come to visit her, she would help me with my studies and be my own personal tutor. Then after we were done with the session, she would always cook my favorite type of food. And every time I would also come to visit her, she would always welcome me with a warm smile and a warm hug. Okay, thank you for coming.
Okay. When I started this and writing a few words, I'm thinking, oh, just don't cry while you're talking. And I'm like, I'm actually tearing up already before they even start. Just wanted to thank you again for everybody, for your Dr. Parker and colleagues and everything. It means so much to our family and the grandkids, and it's truly an honor to be here. So for those who don't know me, my name is Fahim Qavi, and not only am I the only son, I'm the only child of Dr. Qavi. So people are shocked that someone, I'm a little bit taller than her. Oh, if I was adopted or something, but no, that's my mom. So I'm not really sure where to start, but I can clearly state that I know she's smiling down upon us today, gathering and honoring her life in this presentation, and so I definitively know that so much. So just going to say a few words. Won't keep it too long. Mom was born in Hyderabad, India, in 1940, the second of 7 children, and we were by no means affluent. Going to college, and we're talking about 1960 here, going to college was a luxury, unless you could somehow excel with the other 150,000 kids that are graduating at the same time and get a scholarship. And that's what she did. She got her bachelor's degree from Osmania University and then got her master's degree in biochemistry from Osmania University, all before she was married and all that good stuff in the early 60s. But then she excelled to the point where she was recognized by several professors that came to India at that time from Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. They were doing some sort of symposium at that point. And that's it, as simple as that. They recognized her at that point. And this recognition enabled her to receive a full scholarship to the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. So again, just think about that for a second. We have a beautiful, diverse crowd here, males, females, and all different race, religions, creeds. Can you imagine a woman, a minority woman in 1962, 1963, receiving a full ride to get her master's degree from Columbus, Ohio? And it's already hard for the ladies here. We all know the challenges. There's that certain level of inequality, but we're talking about 50, 60 years ago. And she won a scholarship. And I kid you not, people say like, I only had like $5 in my wallet. She literally had $200 in her purse when she came here alone to Columbus. And for me, it kind of blows me away every time I talk about it and things. But she maintained and she excelled, and she received her master's degree in biochemistry from Ohio State. And based upon that, they offered her opportunity in the PhD program for physiological biochemistry, also from Ohio State University. So, it's amazing, and I know there's everybody has their own motivation and how they kind of got ahead, but this is definitely by far mine. So, mom and dad were both fairly well educated. Dad only had his master's degree from Ohio State. Mom had her PhDs and all that good stuff. And so you can imagine me being the only child of educated, and the key word, Indian parents. High expectations for me was an understatement. My first name, Fahim, actually literally means intelligent in Arabic. So you can imagine how many times I dashed those hopes through the years. But that was the level of, it is just about academics. But again, it wasn't all about academics, and the grandkids have talked about it. She so loved her family, and these are the 3 grandkids, and then this is the oldest. Asad is number 4, and she adored them more than anyone in this world. The sacrifices she made for our family and extended family were just too numerous to count. But for her time, her effort, her unconditional love and her leadership. We will miss her until our last days. I don't think there's any doubt how much of an impact she had. By and large, the head of our family. Dad was a distant second. With all due respect, I'm just saying that was mom. I mean, she was the head. So yeah, we'll definitely. Sorry, I miss her. With that said, I would just like to say a couple of words about my dad as well. I know many of you have seen him here. He had the distinctive Indian hat, I guess, and he used to be here diligently, dropping her off, picking her up, driving her everywhere. Age 85, and he would be so stubborn he would still be here. He would just be, and I know many of you guys have met him and seen him, and very jovial individual. But so they were married 56 years. And after mom left, and she passed away on December 3rd of 2021. And our grandkids, or I'm sorry, her grandkids and my kids, we try to keep him as upbeat as possible. But you cannot replace 56 years. And unfortunately, Dad left us 3 months later. So March 2nd, so December 3rd, mom, and then March 2nd, 2020, a couple of months ago, was Dad. And I guess for us, the piece is that at least they're with each other now and such, I mean, so that's our solace. What we have now are the lessons they taught us and the hard work and persistence. And it will pay off eventually. Their grandkids and I are a perfect example of that. And I can definitively tell you, I'm proud to be called a son of Dr. Hamida Qavi and Qazi Abdul Qavi, and a very blessed and fortunate individual. I'm just very lucky on that. So I'm gonna go and wrap it up. I would like to wrap it up with a quick story of just how much she loved her grandkids and what they meant. So this was, I would say, about 10 years ago, maybe around 10 years ago. All 4 kids were here. So we were living together, but we were in a different house. Mom and dad were in their house and everything. And so one day, I alone, the kids were in school or wherever, I alone was kind of in the neighborhood. And I thought, well, I'll just go drop by mom and dad because I miss them. It's been, which is very rare, but so I said, I miss them. I'm just going to go and visit them. So I knock on the door, and then I hear my dad's very booming voice, and he says, "Who is it?" I said, "Well, it's Fahim." So I hear the pitter-patter of feet running towards the door really quickly. I can hear it. He opens up the door, a big smile on his face, and he said, and he goes, "Where are the kids?" I said, "Well, I just came alone. I just wanted to say hi." So the huge smile just dissipated into, I wouldn't say frown, but it was getting there if I waited a little bit longer. So I'm like, all right. So then mom is in the back bedroom, and she says, "Who is it?" And I says, "Oh, it's our son." And she goes, "Well, I'll be right out. I'm gonna come right out." But then dad interjects and he says, "But he came alone." And then mom, there was a distinctive pause. I definitely felt it. And I didn't hear it. I definitely felt it. And she goes, "Well, okay, I guess I'll be there in a second." And so, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, I was here well before these kids, right? And I'm the only one. And so I think I went home that day and I grounded all the 4 kids for no reason whatsoever. But that was the love that she had for everybody. But again, I thank you all for the honor of being here. It means more than you know. And this scholarship award is I love the lasting legacy. But I know she loved you guys dearly. There many a time when she would kick us out of her room while there was the Zoom call or the video calls. And I'm sure you may have seen me or the kids there in the background once or twice with her waving us off and stuff like that. But she was very dedicated to her colleagues and her students and everything. So we really thank you and continue the lasting legacy of both mom and dad. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I just very quickly want to ask, we have 3, maybe 2. I'm going to give it to you right here. Because I just left mine over here. Yeah. 3 of her students that had her a significant amount of time in the mentored research. So if I could have Afa Atia and Hado and let me get the other name just a minute. Riasa Shrithra. If you'll come up, and I'll just ask you, yes, come on up. Come on up together. There's safety in numbers. Oh, okay. 2 of your, come on up. So introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Afaf. I used to work with Dr. Qavi in her research lab. So first and foremost, I just want to say to her family, I'm so sorry for your loss. So Dr. Qavi was like inspiration to me. Every time like I used to see her, I used to wonder like if I would ever be like her, because
You okay?
so I don't know how she managed to be like a professor and a mentor, and like also being a member in many organizations. I remember like our last meeting. I'm sorry. So during our last meeting, I was so exhausted because of my study as well as working in the research lab. But then, I'm sorry. And then after I finished meeting with her, like I was walking away, and then she called me by my name. And then when I turned around, she was like, Afaf, you're doing an amazing job. Keep going. So every time I'd be like exhausting, I remember her words. I know like 3 minutes is not gonna be enough to talk about Dr. Qavi, but like I'm sure everyone loves her and will remember her forever.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sado. Thank you so much for having me here today. I would like to thank Dr. Parker who handing me this opportunity to deliver my personal tribute to Dr. Qavi. I actually first met Dr. Qavi in last summer, 2021. I was one of her research mentees. She was my first research mentor who taught me how to do research and how to think like a scientist. I was struggle a little bit in the beginning because I didn't have any organic chemistry background yet to understand the procedure. But despite all my flaws, Dr. Qavi was the most caring and patient professor I have ever met. So to me, I consider her as my key person. And by key person, I mean that the person made a significant impact on my life, would change my thinking and my perspective forever. She inspired me to get into research. And then she knew exactly how to motivate her students. I remember one time that we were rushing to her class. She was having a lab. And then I just want to show her that I had found a really promising result from the research lab. She was so happy. She basically tapped on my shoulder and said it out loud to the class. this is my students, amazing students. And I'm like, whoa, I need to make her proud at any cost. So that's a pretty shock for me to see her go. But I know that her words, along with her remarkable work, will last forever. So after the times I spent in her lab, I feel so lucky that I was able to present her projects at the SRC this year. I'm grateful that I could continue to carry her legacy for another semester. And at last, I would like to say that I'm proud to be her student. Dr. Qavi will always be an inspiration. Therefore, I truly feel blessed and honored to have Dr. Qavi as a part of my life. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, go ahead. Thank you so much. Well, okay, but come back. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do, let me see if I can get, Ruth, are you here? Okay. Okay, Mitsu. Yeah, can you? All right, well, what we want to do now is I'm on page 12 of the program booklet. We want to do a presentation of the Biomedicine Research and Humanitarian Award recipient. But let me go ahead and I'll read those qualifiers in just a moment. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now this does not have names on it, but we will fill it in. But this will go on for a very long time. At least that's my intention. I'll leave it in the will to the Scholars Academy successor, maybe. But anyway, we need the two girls to come back in. I mean, it's just as quick as they can. I'm sorry, little stall there. So the individual, these bullet points kind of describe this person. And this person has worked in Dr. Jang's research lab. She started working with Dr. Qavi in the summer of 2020 in a virtual manner. You know, the professors were heroic, and I don't use that term lightly. They were heroic because they maintained their research agendas in some fashion during all of the COVID. And one of the reasons was because we had a grant that we had to meet conditions of, and they were just heroes, quite honestly. And the students, the things they've come up with have been amazing. This person continued until fall 2021, working with Dr. Qavi. She's moved since then to Dr. Jacob Thiravathu's lab. She applied to Rice University for an REU research experience for undergraduates as a sophomore. She was not selected, but it was a great learning experience for her. And she served as a UHD 2303 and NS 2190 transfer seminar service learning peer leader for more than 2 semesters. And she's just done a whole lot. And so as soon as they come back in, I'll be able to announce who it is. Yeah, thank you. So the recipient of this year's Dr. Hamida Qavi Biomedicine Research and Humanitarian Award is Sado. Come on down, Sado. That was hard to get to, I tell you. So come on over here. We want to get you in the middle and ask the Qavi family to come in. Take a picture. Please. Congratulations. You should touch them. Let's everybody look up one more time. I don't think she got it right. We will, I'll look it up. Wonderful. All right, thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful.